Hello everybody, welcome back to Just Lights. The next light we're going to be pulling off the shelf and giving it a good cleaning is this Perko Marine Arbor light. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so what we're working on today is a Perko light made by the Perkins Marine Lamp and Hardware Company out of Miami, Florida. Originally established back in 1916, the original name of this company was the Perkins Marine Corporation. That name remained the same till about the early 1930s when it was renamed the Perkins Marine Lamp and Hardware Company. It continued under that name until the late 1970s, and that's when the Perko name became part of the logo. And to this day, the Perko company is still in business down in Miami, Florida, still manufacturing lights and hardware. And they manufactured both forms of lights. They did battery-powered options and they did hardwired options for their lighting. Just depends on what the intended use is going to be for. For the battery-operated ones, you could get those in a 6-volt and a 12-volt option. The hardwired ones would have been for, like, say, larger vessels like battleships, stuff like that, where it would have been linked into the actual electrical system of the ship. But after over 100 years, they've played a huge part in manufacturing lighting and hardware for the marine industry. Now, when I say hardware, I'm not talking just parts for their lights here. They actually made all kinds of other things as well for the marine industry, as far as pressure gauges, valves, controllers, and things of that nature as well. Now, one of the things I'm not 100% sure on is the age of this light, but I think it might also have to do with the fact that maybe somebody put a different sticker on this light. Because after doing some research, I found a catalog online that showed all the lights that they have manufactured and roughly what years that those lights were manufactured. And the one that I found that looked pretty much identical to what I have here shows that this light should have been manufactured between the years of 1945 and 1954. But with that sticker having the name Perko on it, and the name Perko didn't actually take effect till the late 1970s, kind of makes me wonder if the light was actually not as old as I think it is and was probably manufactured in the late 70s, maybe even the early 80s. But even if the light was manufactured in the 80s, that sticker is really clean and neat for a light of even that age. So I kind of feel that the age of the 1940s to 50s is probably accurate, but still unknown. Okay, so I got everything all cleaned up, ready to be put back together. And I don't plan on polishing this thing out, making it look all nice and shiny and all that kind of stuff. I want to keep the patina. I want it to look its age and all that kind of stuff. It's more or less just maintaining it, keeping the dust off of it and building up, especially in the lens here where it has all these little grooves and all that stuff. You know, this is what they consider like a Fresnel style lens and all that. Now, the one thing that I don't really know about this light, because there's no markings, there's no numbers or anything like that anywhere that I can find outside of that tag, is based on some research, they did say that they made like steady burn and flashing versions of the Perko lights. But with this one having the red lens on it, I would assume that this was just going to be a steady burn light because it was probably on the port side of some kind of vessel, ship, or something like that. So I'm going to assume that this was originally a steady burn light. I'm going to kind of show you the little socket thing real fast. That's kind of an interesting little thing they got going on here. So, you know, here's the bottom of it, and you got that little piece right there. There's the wires for the lights. You got these two little kind of little tabs that hang out. What you do is you squeeze those together, and that's what allows you to take the light bulb out. Now, the original 6-volt bulb was burnt out, so I just have a 12-volt bulb in there, and I'll kind of explain why in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and pop that back in there real quick. All right, so it's back in place. Because what I did is I wanted to be able to turn it on, and I also don't want to drill holes in this, you know, for cords. So I built this little pack right here, and what this does, this allows me to just put that down inside there, hook it all up, and make it work. But what I did is I'm just using just a 12-volt, you know, cheap drill battery and an automotive flasher, so I can make this one flash. I think, you know, flashing looks a little bit better than it just being on. So let me go ahead and put this thing together so you can see what it looks like. All right, so let's put this together. First, drop my little battery pack deal in here. Hook the wires up. Now, one of the cool things about this light was, you know, where the switch is at. And that's behind this little cover right here. It's like a little screw-on piece. And they did that, obviously, you know, to help keep salt, water, and rain and all that stuff from getting inside the switch. Now the switch is getting old, so sometimes I gotta move it back and forth a couple times to get it to come on. Let's see if it'll come on first try this time for y'all. No. Okay. There we go. There we go. It's all flashing, doing its thing. Now, like I said, this probably would have been a steady burn, but I think it looks better flashing. So, but I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.